Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place.
What's up, what it do, and welcome back, all my great beauties and boos. If you're new here, my name is Stacey the Great, and if you're not new, then you already know that this is another great transformation. Alright, you guys, so today is Vlogmas Day 8 with the twist, because I don't know, I try to vlog, but I don't be doing too much besides going to work, and I can't take my phone in there or whatever, so that ain't even nothing y'all can see. But what I will say is, of course, I wanted to just continue on the series or whatever I was trying to start, the self-love journey series, different topics that I want to talk about. And it's one topic, I guess, I just cannot talk this morning. One topic that I wanted to talk about, that I kind of be mentioning and then not really, because I guess it's just too deep most of the time. And of course it's still healing, and we're gonna just discuss the childhood traumas, healing from childhood. All right, y'all, so I wanted to talk about childhood traumas. With me, I know for sure, I don't know if I'm ready to just dive into like my childhood, but what I can say is that childhood traumas are the biggest factor in how you are as an adult. Childhood traumas, it's like it molds you to who you're gonna become as an adult. And it's like you don't think that until you become an adult and you realize all the childhood traumas you got now. But because me personally, I grew up pretty rough. Not a very good childhood. I mean, yeah, we had the toys, but it's the behind the scenes that I grew up, dealing with. And I'm in a place now where, yes, I'm healing from that. A lot of forgiveness have had to happen on my part, even without apologies from people. Because of that, because my apologies didn't come from people and they hurt me, I've had to still learn how to forgive, because in essence, I know that forgiveness is not for other people, it's for me. And that is the biggest step. My childhood, I grew up, I was in foster care for 2 years, and I was in and out of different homes. I grew up with abuse in the home, from my mother, toxicity, all of that from her. Even as an adult, even as a grown woman, I've, had to endure the emotional abuse, the mental abuse. This is in no way a type of bashing session. This is just the truth. Honestly, because of, I don't know, it's like I want to sit down and have this discussion about my childhood, but I'm not trying to make this a long, drawn out type of thing. Like, I'm not. I grew up with a negative, narcissistic, I feel, mother. I was the golden child. I had to, but it was nothing that was special that was happening to me. I just got a little bit more than my sisters. And I have 2 older sisters, but I try not to just be talking about my family, because, it's my journey. But yes, they will definitely be included in that. But it's like, in no type of way am I trying to make anybody look bad. I'm just revealing my truth. So you're gonna look however you look. I know. But yeah, I grew up like that, after my mom and daddy divorced. It was pretty much like, yeah, I do think I'm gonna sit down and have a actual talk about it. But then again, I'm just like, I don't know how deep I want to go. I just know that I grew up with a lot of childhood traumas. I grew up with a lot of neglect, abandonment, a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, a lot of confusion, a lot of not knowing how to really trust myself, because the decisions that I was making, it was a lot, y'all. Like, it was bad. But I mean, I feel like it just molded me. I dealt with child molestation. Like, I dealt with almost being assaulted by a family friend. I dealt with having to go back around the person that molested me because my mom needed a babysitter. With a lot of, different things. And I had to overcome that. I had to overcome my daddy not being in my life. I had to overcome him being a drunk. I had to overcome my mama saying, oh, the reason, you're here is because I was healing from your sister, but your dad came home drunk and he was on top of me, and the next thing I know, he done his business or whatever, and then you're here. So I had to grow up this long. At first I used to be like, dang, like that's crazy. But now it's like, so you're saying he was drunk and raped you, and technically I'm not really supposed to be here? Yeah. So you imagine growing up like that, thinking that, and then having to endure being tolerated, not loved, tolerated. And baby, if that toleration wasn't there that day, it's like you can smile, yes, because I'm not in a place of hurt anymore. It was one time I probably wouldn't be able to just to talk about stuff. I would cry, but I'm at a place of healing. I'm not upset with anybody. Like, I'm really not. I mean, it's messed up what I went through, but I went through it. I can no longer blame anybody for how I am now, because they're not doing things to me because I'm not allowing them to. And now I know that I have choices. I have options. I am worthy. And regardless of what somebody has said, I am valuable. I deserve to be here. I deserve a great life, regardless of who don't want to be a part of it. It has nothing to do with me if my parents aren't a part of my life in the way that they should be. And yes, I can definitely get into that. But because I'm driving right now, I don't want to run the risk of running into the police. I do want to get deeper into this though. I do get off work early today, so I definitely will be picking this back up where I left off, because but I'm trying not to make this an overly long vlog or a story time or something like that. But y'all know how I get down, and I know it's like, that's the one thing, is like I talk around my childhood. I don't talk about it. I talk around it on this channel. And hey, I think if the vlog has to be long, it just has to be long. But I just pray that me speaking about my childhood trauma on this self-love journey and the healing process really opens that gate for somebody else to do the same and not blame themselves, because it's not our fault, y'all.
Briefly, I want to share a little bit on how I grew up, and then the steps I took basically to overcome it all. So I grew up being tolerated, overly praised, criticized, placed in the spotlight without my permission, feeling like I always had to perform. I was isolated. My privacy was invaded. I had to deal with a lot of my mama's outburst of anger. Physical, emotional, mental, and sexual abuse, sibling rivalry, being in foster care, and feeling unwanted. And yes, I did read that off a list because I wanted to be specific. I didn't want to just be talking all over the place with it. But that's what I grew up dealing with. I grew up, not feeling good enough. Like I stated previously, I just grew up feeling like I wasn't even really supposed to be here. I never really fit in. And then being in foster care, it just pretty much just, you meet different people, and those people, they either become vicious. And I think that's when I learned not to really trust girls, because back then I seen how two-faced girls would be. I seen how malicious they would be. And I just learned not to trust them. Like, I just learned not to trust girls. I knew they would turn on you at any given moment. And because I missed my sisters and I was in like a group home or whatever, I was just so trusting of people because I was so young and so naive. And, you know, just pretty much looking for acceptance. And I find myself sometimes trying to find acceptance now. And I check myself. I know you already accept you. But yeah, that is how I grew up. And it was a lot that's toxic. Like, it's very, very toxic. It's hurtful to feel like you have two parents that have failed you. And both of them are blaming each other. Nobody is taking responsibility for anything. So I made the decision to take responsibility for myself. Because I got tired of being hurt and walking around feeling miserable and feeling hurt. I got tired of it. So I just made up in my mind, you know what? I can walk around and blame people for what has happened to me, or I can overcome it. I can just start to grow from it. I can just say, you know what, I'm not about to keep feeling guilty and sorry and bad for myself. I realized that my childhood had a lot to do with the way that I was as a woman, or trying to be a woman or a grown girl in a sense, because I was not a woman, I just was a grown girl. I realized I've done a lot of different things that I can't take back at all. And would I? No. I've done a lot of things, and I wouldn't take it back, because no matter how good, bad, or ugly it was, it shaped me to the woman that I am right now. So why would I want to take all that back? And I had a whole little list about what I was going to say, but now I'm just speaking. I wouldn't take none of it back. So when people look at me now, and people, you know, might want to keep the labels on me and remember what I used to do or what they might know, I don't even care anymore, because I know what I went through, and I know that I was out there searching for something that I've always had in myself. But that childhood trauma is it's what had me feeling like I was nothing, that I was not good enough. And I constantly tried to seek other people's approval. And that ain't what I'm doing anymore. And I'm just so grateful that I'm in a better place. Because I'm in a better place now is because I've learned to forgive. I learned to really forgive and what forgiveness really is. Because I used to say that I forgive people, but when I would see them, I would still be mad. I would still feel some type of way because I was holding on. But when I did my shadow work, when I took the time to get real with myself and I had to say, yes, this happened to you. No matter what people try to say, no matter what your mom tried to dumb down, what she tried to deny, what your dad tried to dumb down, what he tried to deny, you know what happened to you growing up. You know that you were failed. But you also know that you don't have to become a product of what has happened to you. That you don't have to become a victim to it. That you can become victorious to what has happened to you. And you don't have to lay down and conform to the ways of the world. That, you know, you don't have to do that. And because of that, I can sit on this platform and know that I'm not putting on a show for YouTube. I'm not one way in front of a camera and another way behind closed doors. Because I've truly worked on me. Because, yeah, back in the day, I had a facade up because I was not truly happy with myself. I couldn't be nice to other people because I wasn't nice to myself. It was hard for me to see the good in other people because I did not see the good in myself. But when I can sit here now as a whole woman, a woman who has given her life to God, a woman who really knows what the definition of change is. And if I'm whispering, excuse me, my baby is asleep and I'm almost certain it's probably midnight. But I got to get the vlogs out. Like I said, y'all, I'm passionate about this. And I got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and get ready for work. So that should tell y'all something. But I got to do what I was called to do. No matter what time it is, I have to do what I was called to do. I know that by me being obedient to God, He's going to continuously bless me. But I know that I have to do a work. I know how I grew up. And as bad as it seems and as bad as it just feels, I can no longer just harbor all these feelings anymore because what has happened has happened. What has happened is done now. It ain't nothing that's gonna change it. Nothing. No amount of praying, no amount of crying, no amount of finger pointing, no amount of getting mad, nothing. But nothing is gonna change it. Nothing is gonna change it. So I had to move forward. So what I'm saying to you is take what you have went through and move forward. Use it as power. Start speaking life to your situation. Don't just sit there and suffer. Do what you gotta do. If you gotta cut people off, cut them off. If you know that it's just a temporary cutoff, okay, cool. But do what you got to do to start becoming your better self. Because that is the way that you're really, really gonna start falling in love with yourself. And that is the way you're really gonna start building your self-confidence. And that is the way that you're really just gonna start being able to set those boundaries. Speaking up for yourself. You gotta heal. You gotta forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself for your part in the things that has happened to you. You got to forgive yourself for whatever it is that you're holding on to, whatever regret that you are holding on to. And then you got to forgive the others. And the way that you just truly go about forgiving, you just start praying that the Lord would just soften your heart towards that person. That He will give you understanding and as to why they hurt you. And that you could just move forward. Whether you talk to them or not, you don't have to hold on to that grudge. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't. You just don't. Setting boundaries and reparenting myself has really gone a long way. I've been able to shut down conversations that I don't want to be a part of with no apology. I will leave a room that I don't want to be a part of with no apology. The cat popped the balloon, y'all. Clearly that scared me. Yeah, that scared me. My fault. But I have just really been able to forgive myself. Because it's a lot of things that I've done that if I was in the mind that I am in now, like literally, if I knew then what I knew now, I wouldn't have done. Like I said, I don't regret it. But if I was the person that I am now, a whole healing individual, I wouldn't have done that. Like, I was just broken and lost and trying to figure it out. And what I pray I can do is just help some girl and woman who don't have that person that they can talk to try to figure it out, to try to navigate through womanhood. And I'm doing this to myself. Of course, I'm doing this with my daughter. But I'm doing this for y'all too, because I've made enough mistakes in my lifetime to be able to just to sit here like, okay, like, I've done a lot of things, and I'm not ashamed of it. I just have to take it for what it is and use it for good. Because I know that the thing about God is God can use a drug addict, a prostitute, a stripper, a murderer for his glory. He can use anybody for his glory, anybody's story for his glory, especially when they've given their story over to him. And that's what I've done. So I'm not ashamed of my promiscuous past. I'm not ashamed of the fact that I've lied, I've cheated, I've stolen. I'm not. Like, all of the things that I've done have molded me into this woman, into this beautiful, gracious, God-fearing woman, into a woman who knows that if she could do it all over again, that sometimes she wants to choose different parents, loving parents, so that I could feel as though I know how to love. Because I know if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't do a lot of the things. But then I wonder to myself, if I changed anything, would I be as strong-minded, as willing to forgive, as, you know, because I've learned so much just being who I am as a 31-year-old woman. I've learned so much. It's like I've learned a lot, like all these different lessons and things I've been able to learn from them. It's just beautiful. I don't make no apologies for that. But pray, forgive yourself, forgive other people, set your boundaries, and reparent yourself. Brownie, what are you doing? It's a lot of different videos on YouTube about it. That shadow work is, you know, you just getting real with yourself. You just digging deep and asking them hard questions that you just been avoiding. And I did that, and I just cried. But it was healing in them tears. Like, that's another thing, man. Cry. Like, allow yourself to feel so that your heart can just become soft and get soft. Because, like I said, I always just felt like I didn't know how to love. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. So, yeah. Alright, y'all. I really wasn't trying to hold y'all. This video was getting a little bit too deep. But it is what it is. It's my truth. It's what happened with me. So, the only thing I know to do is to tell it like it is. Tell my truth the way it is. And that's it. I'm on a journey to heal, not to bash. So, if you feel any type of way about it, you know, I hate that. I know what I've experienced over the years. And I'm no longer going to allow somebody to try to narrate my story for me. I know what has happened with me, and I can sit here and smile confidently because I have finally moved past it, and all of the control and all of the chains of control and the power that other people have tried to have on me. Brownie, stop. All of that has just, you don't have it anymore. So I walk in love, I walk in light, I walk in peace. I walk how I want to walk. Being myself, being authentically happy, and being myself, and being free. All of that feels good. All of that is a blessing to me. Because for a long time, I was trying to live up to everybody else's expectations. But now, I'm living up to what God expects of me. And that don't feel like a punishment. That don't feel like I'm doing nothing wrong. It doesn't feel like it's a hidden motive. Nothing. It feels good to do what I'm supposed to do. And sometimes I backslide. I have to go and I have to repent. But, you know, for the most part, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And with that being said, I hope y'all took something from this video. I know I wasn't just speaking personally directly to you all, you know, like, hey, you need to, like I said, I use myself for different experiences. And again, I'm gonna do what I need to do, and I hope y'all do what y'all need to do, and that is like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tell somebody about this so we can go ahead and build this great transformation journey, y'all. Like I said, I'm happy, I'm thankful for every subscriber, every like, every person that watches my video through to the end. Everybody, like, you know, whatever ideas, whatever topics y'all want me to talk about. Listen, I got a lot. I have a lot. If you want to know some story times, whatever, like, just let me know. But again, you know, childhood traumas, y'all. Childhood traumas is something, but we gotta address them, because like, we're going into 2022. This is really the perfect time for me to like be doing this, because you get the opportunity, you know, play these back maybe a week before, you know, the new year come in. My fault, y'all, I'm itchy. Before the new year come in, and then you can start really working on yourself. I've been working on myself. I just encourage everybody to do that, because working on yourself is hard. It's very hard, but it's also very much necessary. But anyways, y'all, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I definitely appreciate you guys for taking the time to watch this video. Be sure to come back, because y'all already know it'll be another video after this one, and another video after that one, and another video after that one, and most definitely another video after that one. So stay tuned, because y'all already know. Well, no, not stay tuned, because y'all gotta go. The video over with. Just come back, because I know y'all enjoyed this video, because y'all already know that this was most definitely another lovely, most beautiful, great transformation video.
And we can ride the boogie, share that beat of love. I wanna ride the